Hello, I'm Dominic Riley. I'm going to tell you about the project that I've been working on for my internship this year. It's called PrepMind, and it is an AI SAT tutor. So, a quick intro. I'm a computer science major with a minor in artificial intelligence, and I'm going into my senior year of college this year. I have a ton of experience working in web development and creating web apps, and luckily, this is one of the areas that AI is actually the most powerful. AI is incredible at languages like HTML, React, and Python, which are essential for web development. So between my experience with web development and AI's power in this field, I feel as if I've been able to make a really impressive product. My motivation for pursuing a career in AI is that I believe AI is the single most powerful technology ever created. And I know that it will be used for a lot of good and unfortunately a lot of bad. And I hope to be on that good side. I want to make the world a better place with AI, and a way that I can see to do that is through creating AI tools for education. So following up with that, my motivation for this project is that I hope to work in a career creating AI tools for education. And I think this project is a great starting point for that. I think AI tutors are going to be one of the most essential parts of AI in education. And so getting a starting point there, I think is amazing. I also believe that AI tutors are going to grow to become a lot more popular in the coming years. As AI becomes smarter, more correct more often, people are going to trust it more and they're going to feel more comfortable learning from it. So I think this is a growing market that I'm getting in early. This is also a small enough scope that I feel confident I can deliver an impressive product. Where if I had a wider scope, say an AI that's a tutor in all of math or all of middle school, there's a lot more competition in those areas, and also it's a lot harder to create a product that I'm proud of that will actually help the student and they'll get value from it. So starting the project, I actually came into this internship and I already knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to make an SAT tutor, and so on the first day, I was already ready to get to work. I started by planning my project out with an LLM, and this was one of the most important parts of my project throughout the entire process. Anytime I wanted to create something or change something, I always talked to an AI about it before so that I had a better idea of what I was doing, as opposed to going in and just starting with making code changes and figuring it out as you go. That's going to lead to a lower quality product. So I was always planning with an AI before I actually was making any changes. After I was done with the initial planning, I started creating a skeleton for my project. This included basic web pages, a simple SQL database, and a bare bones backend server that was able to talk both with the front end and with the database. And this gave me a great foundation that I was then able to build upon as I worked on my project. I pretty quickly started working on the tutor. This is really the meat and bones of my project. I knew it was the most important part. So I've been working on the tutor from the beginning, and I'm still working on it now. I started by finding high quality SAT documents from my RAG database. This included documents like SAT prep books and SAT practice tests that the tutor is now able to refer to say, for this kind of a problem, you might want to use this technique or this strategy. After that, I set up streaming for high-speed responses, as well as message memory for more natural conversation. I set the database up to be in keeping track of what subjects the student is doing well in, as opposed to what they're struggling in. So if the student is struggling in math, we can give them easier math problems to work up to the same level as the rest of them. Initially, the tutor was generating a question every time the user needed one, and this was problematic because it was both expensive and slow. I was able to make it fast if I gave the tutor less time to think about the question, but I was scared to do that because I was worried that with less time to think about the question, we would be sometimes generating low quality questions or even incorrect answers, and that was the last thing I wanted. I started building more pieces in the project. I set up Clerk for authentication, handling users, login, sign up, all of that. Then I set up a dashboard so that the user can keep track of their stats and their progress as they go. Around this time, I had to rework a big portion of the database, where I now had a better idea of how I wanted the final result to look. And what I set up in the beginning wasn't perfectly suited for that, so I had to rework, create some new things, stuff like that. I also kept iteratively improving the look of the website. I improved the landing page, the tutoring page around this time. I was always improving the way it looked. I realized that the way I was generating questions wasn't great. It was slow and expensive, like I said, and I knew there had to be a better way. So after thinking about it for a while, I came up with, instead of generating the questions as they're needed, we pre-generate hundreds of questions into our database. So I now have a database of hundreds of questions that the tutor can pull from. And these were generated with RAG and with deep reasoning model that thought for a long time. And this large amount of thinking leads to high accuracy and high confidence that we are giving high quality questions for the student. Along with the question, we generated 4 answers, one of them labeled as the correct answer, and an explanation why that is the correct answer, which helps a bunch with the tutoring. We also generated the subject and difficulty level of each of these questions, which helps us with tracking the stats of the student. This was the biggest improvement of the project by a landslide, because we were able to offload all of the costs and load times that are associated with generating these questions to development. So now they're already done, they're already generated, and now we don't have to run all of that at deployment. It's not slow for the user, and it doesn't cost me a bunch of money. So then these past couple weeks, the final pieces have really been coming together. I set up Stripe to handle subscriptions so that users can pay me to use my product. I made the final touches for the project to be ready to be deployed on the cloud, and then I deployed it on the cloud. I deployed the front end on Netlify, the back end on Render, and the database on Supabase. So I'm using 3 different services for the 3 different parts of my product. And this was tricky to get all of the different services to talk to each other and get everything to work on the cloud. So leads into the next point that as I moved from local hosting on my computer to deployment in the cloud, it brought about tons of new errors and problems that I had never seen in development, and that I then had to tackle, and took me a long time to work through all those problems afterward. So I'll give you a quick demo of my project. Here's the landing page. This is what users are greeted to when they first get to our page. We are building the future of SAT success. If they want, they can just get started, get signed up. But if they're not sure, we're going to pitch it to them. Here's why other methods of SAT prep aren't working, why they're not the best option for you, and here's why we're different, we're better, and we are the best option. Generic study plans, like a prep book, is one-size-fits-all approach, whereas we have a personalized learning path, and we're going to adapt to your strengths and weaknesses. Memorizing tips and tricks and just like general strategies is not as good as actually understanding the concepts that lead to those answers. As well as, this is really the key point, a human SAT tutor on average costs $70 an hour. They can get way more expensive than that. Whereas we are only charging $50 a month. This means we're charging less per month than a human would charge per hour, which is a crazy difference. We also have truly intelligent tutoring, and here's why. We give you smart hints without giving you the answer. Math looks right with LaTeX rendering to display math like this. You're able to track your progress through the dashboard. And here's our real key selling point, is that the practice adapts to you, that we're always generating questions suited for you and what you need right now. As well as an interactive chat where when you get a question wrong, the tutor is going to step in and help you figure it out. Here's how it works. We're going to assess the student, create a dynamic study plan for them that will change as we go, and then do interactive tutoring, generate questions for them, teach them how to solve those questions, and track their growth as they go. Here's our 2 pricing options. We have $49 a month, which I think is a great price. Or if you want the yearly, it is only $29 a month, which saves you $240 per year. That is like 40% off. That is a massive change. Really great deal. Here's some frequently asked questions. How are you different? Is it good for the digital SAT? Yes, it is. So are we ready to master it? Let's get started. We're going to sign up with Google. I just love this option. I sign up on everything with Google. It's just so convenient. I knew that I needed this to be an option on my website. Like, look how easy that is. That's awesome. Again, we have our monthly and annual plan. We're going to sign up for monthly right now for the demo. Now, I don't actually want to pay this $50 for the demo, so I'm going to put in this promo code that I created, and now we get 100% off. This is going to cost me nothing. And that's awesome that I can do that, because it means I can give promo codes to my friends and family so they can check out this project that I've been working on all summer completely for free. So let's start our first session. You're going to see how quick this question is generated. That is super fast, especially compared to what we had before. That's, what, 2 seconds? Super, super nice. So if y equals 2x plus 1, x equals 3, what is the value of y? It's going to be 7, but I think we should get it wrong for the demo. You can see we get it wrong, so the tutor steps in right away. It says, what would you get if you substitute the value of x into the equation for y? So here's y equals 2x plus 1. We're going to say y equals 2 times 3 plus 1. What is the result of 2 times 3 plus 1? 2 times 3 plus 1 is equal to 7, if I'm not mistaken. It says that's correct. Let's move on to a fresh question. So we got it right. We're going to get a new question. Now it's an English question. So this is going to be A, offers a revised interpretation of the causes. This time I'm going to get it right, so you can see over here we've got study stats. So we now have one question right in a row. We've solved 2 problems at 50% accuracy, so we only got one right. Let's do another one. Even though it rained, the game continued. We get an awesome excellent, right? Reward the student. They did a good job. They got the question right. And you can see our session stats upgrade. We got our streak going. If we want, we can also generate a certain one. Let's focus next on math. The user wants to do some math work. They can generate a new question, and we got a math question for them. Then, if they've been doing some work, they've been answering some questions, they can check out the dashboard. We won't have a lot going right now because we only answered around 3 questions. But this will show all the different difficulties that they've done, as well as, you know, let's just sign in with my other account. You can see here, they solved 5 hard problems, 14 medium, 1 easy, and then not much on this day. Here's the breakdown of, you know, you're 100% correct in reading and math, but missed 2 problems in writing, missed 2 questions in writing. Here are your strengths. Got 100% accuracy in there. Go me. No major areas of concern right now. And here are our next goals as well. Here's our weekly goals. We've only done 5 minutes of our 5 hours, but we've done 2 out of our 5 days and 21 out of our 70 problems. And here's one of my favorite parts. I love the achievements. I think this is really fun. It's that we haven't achieved 95% accuracy yet, but we did get 85% accuracy. So that's our best achievement that we have. We haven't studied 5 total hours yet. We haven't done a 3-day study streak. I think the achievements are awesome. We've also got settings. So the user can manage some settings. And they're able to manage their subscription as well. So they're able to log out, cancel their subscription, you know, before the free trial ends even. So let's get back to the presentation. So my next steps now. I'm not done. I have a product that I'm happy with and I'm going to start selling, but I always want to keep improving this. Especially the tutor, as new technologies come out, I always want this tutor, which is the core product that I'm selling, to be at the cutting edge, to use the best technologies, the best AI models, and to be the highest quality that it can be. So I'll always be improving the tutor as long as I'm working on this website. I also next want to set up mobile styling so the users can use our website on their phone, as well as voice interaction for a more natural feeling tutor interaction. Then I want to do beta testing, where I'll post on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist that people can have a month free, as long as they'll give me feedback, tell me what I need to improve. Then I'm going to set up advertising on Facebook and Google. And I'm going to do search engine optimization, SEO, to make sure that we're the top result on stuff like Google and Firefox when you're searching for SAT tutors or SAT help, as well as AI optimization, which is a new thing, where if users are using ChatGPT and they say, what's the best tool that I can use to study for the SAT, that will be the results that ChatGPT finds as opposed to other products. So my growth this summer, I have worked on large full stack web apps before, but nothing of this scale. This is a huge project that I was able to complete in just around 9 weeks. I've also used AI to create applications before, but nothing this complete. This never had authorization with different users and subscriptions and needed to do advertising and all this stuff. This is really a complete product that I'm now able to sell, and I've never made anything like that before. I've also this summer shifted to emphasize more specs engineering, which is kind of that AI planning phase that I talked about earlier, where you want to plan out everything. What do I want my product to look like? What do I want a user's experience on my website to be? All that sort of stuff. I've learned the power behind that. I've also grown alongside the tools. I have improved a ton at vibe coding this summer, but the tools that I've been using have actually improved more than I have, I think. 2 different times this summer, I've had to switch to a new vibe coding tool because a better option than what I was using came out. So if it's happened twice this summer, I'm super, super excited to see what kinds of tools will come out in the next couple of years and the kinds of scale projects that we'll be able to make in 2-3 years' time. So my final product. I created a minimum viable product that I'm happy to sell and I'm very proud of. There are still a lot of improvements that I plan to make, but I feel confident selling this service. I feel like a user will get their value from their money if they buy my service. This was really a massive project that I was able to complete in just around 9 weeks, which absolutely would not have been possible without these AI tools. Without these AI tools, it would have taken a team of engineers longer than that to create this project. So I'm always blown away at the power that we have with these AI tools. Despite that, it was still a ton of work. I worked some really long hours, especially in these last couple of weeks, finishing everything up. But in the end, it has been super, super rewarding, and I'm super happy with what I managed to create. And I think it's a great product. Thank you.